Paper was like gold in medieval times.
Oh, not tobacco, sugar.
That everything we thought we knew about the world might turn out to be completely wrong.
I want it, you got it, just what I need. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yeah. Just when you think that you're gonna get away, I will be there to make sure that you're gonna say just what I want to hear. Yeah, I want it now. I'll take you higher ground. I'll begin the message that will makes you wonder. I will be the voice that you can sleep without. Even when the stars not shining in the stormy night. I'll be the light coming from your lips. Even when the stream seems going against the sea. I'll be so small, I get so deep. I surrender you and never try to reach your dream.
I love living in Florence. The art, the architecture, the history. But what's really amazing is that 20 minutes away and there's olive oil and wine country, or what the rest of the world calls Chianti. Nina and I are off to an amazing agriturismo, and hopefully we'll be able to sample some of the goods. Ciao! Piacere, David.
I'm Giulio.
Piacere, sono Nina.
Allora, Nina.
It's beautiful here.
Ah, grazie, molto
Ma
gentile.
veramente bellissimo.
Sì, eh? Come da quella parte, se volete dare un'occhiata è a vostra disposizione.
I can go for a walk?
Sure, you can.
Yeah, okay.
Sì.
Bene, we'll see you later.
Va bene,
Grazie.
ci vediamo dopo.
Ciao, Giulio.
Ciao, Nina.
Ciao.
Lei.
I get so deep. I surrender you and never try to reach your dream. You can follow me. I'm your sugar queen. Dancing silently right beside your dream. You can follow me. I'm your sugar queen. Dancing silently right beside your dream. Can you feel, can you hear, can you sweet the harmony?
So, Giulio, what makes Tuscan olive oil so tasty?
L'olio extravergine toscano perché deve essere extravergine.
Extra virgin, sì.
Extravergine toscano è veramente speciale.
Veramente, it's absolutely wonderful.
Eh.
And what are some of its qualities? Cioè, le caratteristiche.
Le caratteristiche è l'acidità,
So, the acidity,
l'acidità
Sì.
bassa,
very low acidity.
very low.
And how long does olive oil last once it's pressed? Cioè, deve consumare entro quanto?
Ah, questo è importante che sia
Very important question.
molto importante.
So it doesn't have a long shelf life, or does it?
L'olio quando lo si mangia giovane
Sì.
è molto meglio.
So olive oil should be, I guess, appreciated when it's very young.
Yeah.
Sì.
Sì, un po' come le belle ragazze.
Right. Giulio says just like women. Fettunta literally means sliced bread dripping in olive oil. Few ingredients for this recipe: toasted bread, rubbed garlic, lots of olive oil, and lots of salt. Tuscan bread is known to have no salt. And this is because years ago, about 500 years ago, when they were building the Duomo, the state imposed a salt tax, and everyone stopped baking their bread with salt. Fortunately, today, they've lifted the salt tax, but they've continued to bake their bread without salt. An essential ingredient for the fettunta is rubbed garlic. But don't go tell a Tuscan that this is just simply garlic bread. In other parts of Italy, this might be called bruschetta, which means toasted bread. And of course, any topping on top of toasted bread would be classified as bruschetta, not just the tomato and olive oil topping. And I always like to just cut my garlic in half, and the oils are easily rubbed onto the toasted bread. Good rubbing with the garlic. With the heat from the toast, it actually almost melts the garlic right onto the bread. The star of this dish, lots of extra virgin olive oil. Don't be afraid, especially if it's the good stuff. Of course, lots of salt, and this helps compensate for that saltless Tuscan bread. I have to admit, the first time I had Pinzimonio about 10 years ago, I thought, what's the big deal? Raw vegetables and olive oil. I mean, how fancy can that be? I'm gonna cut all these vegetables, and they'll be ready in a flash. And it's done in a jiffy, or as long as it takes you to cut your vegetables. The fun thing about Pinzimonio is that everyone gets their own dipping bowl. Good dose of salt. Fresh ground pepper. Pinzimonio, guys. Go ahead, Nee.
Grazie.
Pepe. Pepper.
Very nice. So where in Rome do you live? The first piece of bread. Is it all? Yeah.
In the main square in Greve in Chianti is this great butcher shop called Macelleria Falorni, and they've been around since 1713, and the guys running it are the 8th generation. Apparently, the meat is the best in town. I hear your bistecca is molto buona. Why is it so special?
Prima di tutto perché è chianina,
Chianina, which is...
una razza unica al mondo.
So the Chianina is a bull found in Chianti area. It's all white. It's a very big beast.
Non tutto bianco perché ha il naso,
Has a black nose,
e le zampe,
black hoof, black tail.
la lingua.
It's the only beast, Stefano says, that has a black tongue. Very cool.
Una bestia enorme, più grande di me.
See?
Noi abbiamo una certificazione.
Every piece of meat is certified, so you'll know when the toro or the bull was born,
Quando è nata, chi era il padre.
who the father was, who the mother was.
Certamente.
Parenti, cugini, cousins,
Tutto.
everything. Where it was hanging out, where it lived, what it ate. It has the certification here that guarantees each piece of steak. You know what? You've convinced me. Sono convinto. 2 bistecche, 2 beefsteaks.
Bene così?
Perfetto. Ciao, grazie. It'd be a real shame to come to Tuscany and not have the simple pleasure of una bistecca, or how it's often called, una bistecca Fiorentina. When your meat is this fab, be ashamed to put barbecue sauces and dressings on it. No, just throw it on a hot grill. Few tips. Here in Tuscany, there's a saying, to prepare una bistecca that's wonderful, you should actually almost burn your fingers when you drop the bistecca on the grill. Now, I don't recommend you burning your fingers, but you know what I mean. The grill has to be hot. Second tip, salt. You salt before or after. This is a whole misconception. Always salt your bistecca at the end. If you salt before, it's going to take out all the moisture from the meat. It's going to be stiff and dry, and no, you don't want that. For my bistecca, I like a simple contorno or side for my bistecca. You prepare radicchio on the grill. Cut your radicchio in half. Cut it now in quarters. There's a temptation to always clean the end, and I recommend not to, because actually that little piece right there will actually hold the radicchio wedge all in place. Unlike my bistecca, I like to season before I put on the grill. A little bit of salt, a little balsamic. I find this keeps the radicchio nice and moist for the grill. Just a little bit. There's always this temptation to check your meat, right? No. Leave your meat on the grill. Maybe at the 4.5 minute mark, then you can check it. But just leave it on the grill. Always keep an eye on your radicchio. It burns very quickly. And she looks like she's ready. Perfect. Now, here comes the salt. Lastly, just a little bit of pepper. Fortunately, when you're at an agriturismo that has great olive oil, you can just finish the grilled radicchio with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Nina's waiting for me. Ecco la bistecca.
Beautiful. It's huge.
It's huge. Bistecca for two. And this will be a great steak, because I know who the mother, the father, the cousin. I know what it ate. I even know how old it was. The day it was born, the day it died.
How old is it?
18 months.
I think.
Tastes like 21?
Cheers.
Quando sei arrivata, la musica è tornata, la luce nel mio cuore si è riaccesa una fiammata, gioia di stupore, il tuo candore è alto su un cielo come fosse un aquilone, vagavo senza meta, come una cometa, solo tra la gente come un'anima irrequieta. Ora che lo sai, cerca di capire, stare senza te è un po' come morire. Ora che lo sai, cerca di capire, stare senza te è un lento scomparire.
Cheers, Giulio. Grazie. You've been a wonderful host.
It's a
And
pleasure.
your wine is unbelievable. On all the bottles, there's DOC and DOCG. What's the difference?
Così è DOC,
DOC.
denominazione di origine controllata.
It's from the area and it's a
The
stamp
grapes
of quality.
and the production.
And the difference with the
The
G?
G is guaranteed by the government.
So the government actually comes on board and says this is top quality as well. I never thought of coming to a farmhouse, an agriturismo, and seeing such wonderful art.
Oh, now I show you. We have ricerca, sviluppo e promozione.
So you research new artists, and I understand they come on board here and they get inspired by your wonderful
Noi li
property.
invitiamo qua da varie parti del mondo a venire a lavorare da noi.
Art, history, great olive oil, Chianti Classico vino. This is paradise. This is all in porcelain.
Yeah.
What's
White ceramic. It's a very classical, but after
little funky?
like Batman.
Like Batman. This table, I guess the artist is having some fun with you. Oh, this is you and your nose. And
My old wife, nuda.
dogs, cats, wonderful.
Etc.
Ciao, guys.
Ciao. Ciao. Maybe a little more.
Of course, a little more. The wheat berry or farro has made a real big comeback here in Italy over the last few years. It can be prepared many different ways, but being here in Chianti, I can only think of preparing it with un buon vino di Chianti Classico. First thing for a great risotto is un buon soffritto. Just need a couple of them. Finely chop up your shallots. In a hot saucepan, add some unsalted butter and a little bit of extra virgin olio di Chianti Classico. Cook the shallots till they become nice and translucent. Take about a minute or two. And then, like a risotto, we'll add the farro. Farro is a very interesting grain. It's been around for thousands of years, and the Egyptians used to bury their dead with it. They thought it brought prosperity and fertility for the next life. The cool thing with farro, it's a naturally organic grain. You cannot spray it with pesticides, otherwise it won't grow. Good rule of thumb, a couple of handfuls per serving. I like to toast my farro or even risotto together with the olive oil, almost like you're frying it, but you're just getting all the flavors to amalgamate. Next part is the Chianti Classico. Just a little bit for now. A little bit for me. Wait till that evaporates. Then, just like a risotto, just ladle in your vegetable broth. Not too much. Once the vegetable broth absorbs, keep adding a little more and keep stirring. Now, farro takes a lot longer than risotto to cook. It takes about 25 minutes. Continue stirring. Now, at around the halfway mark, which is around 12 minutes, we're going to stop putting in that stuff and put in the good stuff, the Chianti Classico. And just like the broth, when it evaporates, more vino. You don't have to be too worried about putting in too much wine. The alcohol is just going to evaporate and you're going to be left with a sweet fragrance and a beautiful color. I have to admit though, I have been in a situation where I've had no vegetable broth and I've used the whole bottle and it was fabulous. Lower your heat when it's just at that al dente stage and when it's forming un onda, which means a wave and it's nice and creamy. Add a little more butter. Some black pepper. Some salt. And when I plate it, I'm just going to add some freshly grated Grana Padano cheese, and it's done.
Take you out, I'll take you higher ground. I'll begin the message that we makes you wonder. I will be the voice
David, this is
Ladies
Farro.
first, Farro. We're in Chianti, so we have to have Chianti Classico. The Egyptians used to put it in their tombs, and it's represented prosperity and fertility in the afterlife.
And the pesto.
And that's why Fado, Farro, Italians. No, oh, you know the Pharaohs, Fado.
David,
there.
David can make you believe anything. It's true.
Now this is a fun summertime dessert that I had all the time when I was a kid. Grab a peach, everyone grab a peach. And of course, because we're in Chianti, what better way of ending a meal with something I call drunken peaches. Simple, everyone has their peach. Come on. And we're gonna cut it into wedges. And what's great is you can continue using your glass from dinner. Last thing is a little bit of Chianti Classico, and I put some cinnamon and a little bit of sugar. Put it in the fridge and just pour it over your, just to cool it off a bit. Grande. Meal on wine. The theme should be Chianti.
And first I think it's
Now you can imagine how an 8-year-old boy loved these peaches. Yeah, of course my nonna would always give me a little bit of ginger ale with my Chianti as well. Well, you're not having no more peaches? No more peaches? No more peaches?
That's for later. Leave it with me. It's mine.
I don't know.
No, thank you.
Show me the way to reach your secret thought.
Dai! Tira! Dai!
Sei gol!
rapido!
Occhio, occhio la batteria!
Just a moment. Go ahead. David? Okay.
Giulio,
David,
this is heaven on earth.
questo è veramente un olio del Chianti classico.
Veramente.
È un regalo per te.
Grazie.
Here